Tell us, your name, where you live, and your profession.
Yeah, my name is Matt Pennington. I live here in Washington, D.C., and my profession is I do government relations, external relations for the United Nations Refugee Agency. So basically my job is to mobilize political and financial support from the U.S. government and Congress for our operations helping refugees around the globe.
Tell us what Push Alliance is to you.
Yeah, Push is a lot of things to me, but I think fundamentally it is a community of growth-oriented people who push and empower each other to both identify and achieve our goals, achieve their goals. So I think, Push has become really important to me just by being around people who want to get better.
What are your two most significant accomplishments since you started pushing?
So I guess the first one is a little bit more exciting because there's a number and you can measure it very, very clearly. For me, we had a goal. I had a goal of aggressively paying down student loans when I joined Push. And I joined Push last September, so September 2019. And in the last 11 months, we've paid down more on our student loans than we did in the previous 6 years. So we just have been super aggressive on those. And Push helped me identify that as a top goal. And I've just been aggressively sort of moving after that, thanks to the week-to-week check-ins with my section. So it's been really helpful. And then the second is that I identified as the goal that I wanted to be more disciplined, more consistent in my reading and my journaling. And that's been the case since I joined in September. So, for me, I really wanted to build a stronger inner life and just start the day with some focus, some reflection, some writing, all with the goal of getting better and being able to sort of, build that sort of inner citadel for, when times are difficult. And I think for me, it's been really helpful going through that practice, getting better at journaling, more consistent with journaling, more consistent reading, and just sort of reflecting that has helped me get through COVID. I mean, this has been, a storm that we've all dealt with. And I haven't been perfect at managing it, but I think because of the tools and because of that consistent practice, I've been able to sort of draw on those practices when times have been difficult over the last 6 months during COVID. And I'm really grateful to Push for that. I think on the book front, I had a goal. I've been very undisciplined in reading over recent years. And so I started out with a goal this year of reading 20 books this year, which was really a stretch for me. And I've read 15 books so far, and I've read just 3 books in the last 3 weeks. And I think, to me, that's a testament to what Push does, because I certainly wouldn't have done that on my own.
I think that's really a really great metric that you kind of mentioned there. One is because I think a lot of people, the initial thing that we kind of fall back on, because a lot of people are in need of it, is like fitness, accountability. But I think, those two things, at least from the fitness standpoint, that, you're really fit and you're really in shape. So it's not something that you need per se, but like the financial things that we can't actually see, right? But that we know is an issue for everybody. So being able to kind of hone in and dial in yourself to be able to pay that down, I think is amazing. I knew it was significant. I didn't know it was that significant, man. So it's awesome to hear.
Yep.
Congrats on
I
that.
looked that up so I could share that just because I knew you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Thank you. How has your mindset or personal awareness changed since becoming a pusher?
Yeah, I think that's a really important question, not just about achieving goals, but it's about identifying goals. And, for me, what was extremely helpful is having a better sense of how I spend my time. Just basically being able to view how do I spend my time on a week-to-week basis, being transparent about that, being, absolutely honest about that. That in the early days of Push, I realized, holy cow, I'm spending, 3 hours a day on Twitter, or I'm spending 2.5 hours on Netflix. And, how's that making me a better human? Yeah, and it may be that I need a little bit of Twitter time, or I need a little bit of Netflix time. But I want to be in the driver's seat deciding that I want to spend, X amount of time a day on those channels. And I don't want to just get sort of caught up in that. And so I think for me, Push provided sort of a mirror and gave me, a lot of clarity into how I was spending my time. And then I could figure out, okay, how do I want to spend my time? How do I line that up with my goals? And move forward from there. So that mindset shift has been huge, just kind of realizing, how I spend my time, how I want to use my time, and where I want to put my focus.
Right. I think that starts with documentation, right? It's hard to be aware of what we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. It's a little bit embarrassing in the beginning, but I think we all go through that, and you realize, it's better to know than to, pretend you don't.
Right. Then you can make that change without that tracking or that documentation, without being aware of it, right?
I mean, thankfully, I've had enough of these that they've, given me a good kind of kick in the pants to sort of stay on track. But when I have been less disciplined and less focused, and at the end of the week, I sort of shrug my shoulders, like I don't know where that time went. Or I don't feel good about where I spent the majority of my time. And so, it's just a good reminder that you can get back on track, that the tools that Push provides really do give you, there's a template right there for you. You can input pretty easily and quickly, how you spend your time, how you want to spend your time, and, document it along the way. At the end of the week, you have a good sort of map there on what happened.
Thanks, Matt.
Less shoulder shrugging.
What do you like most about Push currently?
Yeah, that's an easy one. I mean, it's people. From the very, focused coaching from Dion and the extra push. Dion's always asking the tough questions. So, I've really appreciated your leadership, spearheading this and keeping me, competitive and on track, to, being surrounded by a group of what I consider to be growth mindset people who are testing and sharing ideas and learning. And, we can't do it all on our own. I have a lot to learn from others around me, both in their success and in how they deal with adversity. And I think when we get off track, we can encourage each other. When we're not spending our time like we want to be spending, or as we've laid out is a priority for us, we've got people who are pointing that out and just saying, hey, you said you were committed to this and you wanted this. What's going on? How can I help? And that's invaluable. I think we can't sort of move forward with intention and discipline and focus in our lives without other people. So I want to surround myself with people who are working hard, who've got that growth mindset, and that's what Push provides. And yeah, so that's been the biggest advantage.
Thank you for that. Additionally, is there anything else that you'd like to share prior to closing out?
I just encourage people to stick with it. And, what I mean by that is, you learn a lot about yourself in the process when you join Push and you go through Push. And, I think if I look back at the last 11 months, I see a lot of learning and a lot of growth, not just for me, but in terms of the process and engaging with the process of Push and sort of how to navigate that better, the self-awareness that has come through that. So, I would say, really give it a shot and really stick with the process because, I'm coming up on my year mark and I feel like I'm just getting started, and I'm really just starting to get a better sense for, exactly where I want to spend my time and how I want to spend my time. And I have a much more structured way of doing that with a better group of people around me, and a really, a deeper knowledge base than I did a year ago. So, I couldn't have appreciated that if I had just stuck with it for a month and tried it and then got frustrated and let go. I had to really go through, for me, it's been, the 4 full seasons of the last year, going through COVID, which is, an adversity, but also an opportunity for growth. And so, yeah, I'd encourage people to stick with it. And then I'd also encourage people just to reach higher and, to embrace doing hard things. And I think that's where, Dion, you're constantly pushing and encouraging and affirming that as something that's important to the group. And I think, over the last year, you've seen me set goals and, fill out my weekly sheet of goals, and you can call me out when I'm not doing as much as I want to do, or when I need the extra push. So reach higher and keep with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all try to do our best to help each other in that way, whether it's an assistance, whether it's a push if we need it, or information. All those things are important and helpful to us all. And since you just mentioned that, I was thinking about the bike, man, and I wanted to ask you about that really quickly because I know you talked about like Nas and his daughter riding the bike. So just tell the audience a little bit about that, about how your son is now riding the bike and kind of where he came from.
Yeah.
Your journey with that and kind of how you were inspired to kind of get back on that track.
Sure. Yeah. So, I'm a dad to, 2 young boys, and like any dad, a year ago, last summer, tried to get my oldest to get on a bike and learn how to ride a bike and sort of move from a balanced bike into a pedal bike without training wheels. And, was unsuccessful. And, we both kind of gave it up after several tries last summer. And so then I joined Push in the fall and had the opportunity to be around other dads and just to kind of learn from their practices. And one of the things I learned from Nas was, he was getting the girls up on bikes, and, he shared some videos on how he approached it. And, it just gave me some ideas. And it also got me thinking, maybe I'd been too rigid with the way I was trying to do this. Why don't I loosen up, and why don't I also take some from Naz's experience and also, just the group discussions that we were having with a few of the other dads in the group. And so I had a few weeks off this August. I took 2 weeks off to disconnect from work, and I had a goal of, getting my oldest riding a bike by the end of those 2 weeks. And he beat that goal. He got it done on the 5th or 6th day. And
I can do everything now.
it was really just because I was able to embrace some of those lessons from the other dads, and also, I think take a different approach that was less rigid and less stubborn, and incorporating the learning from others, and just finding a way to enjoy it and consistently get out there every day, 2-3 times a day with my son. So at the end of the process, he's riding his bike, and now he's riding it all over the neighborhood, and it's something we love doing together. And I really attribute that to just the learning and the experience shared through Push. So yeah, thanks, Dion. Thanks for letting me share that.
No, man, I really enjoyed that story, man. I seen that video and it just warmed me up, man. So every time I think about it, I smile. So I'm happy for you and happy for him. So you enjoy that and take enough time of your man. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
All right, keep it up.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Bye.